Oscar Piastri delivered the kind of weekend performance any team would hope for from a championship contender. He secured pole position comfortably, dominated the sprint, and controlled the early stages of the Qatar Grand Prix with a level of precision that left no room for doubt about his pace or composure. Everything within his direct control was executed flawlessly. The turning point came from elsewhere. A single strategic call from the pit wall changed the entire shape of the race. When the safety car emerged on lap 7, most of the grid made the clear and expected decision to pit early under neutralized conditions. McLaren did not. That one choice shifted the advantage straight into Max Verstappen's hands and forced Piastri into a recovery drive he never should have needed. What makes the situation even more significant is that this was not an isolated misstep. Throughout the season, Piastri has repeatedly ended up on the wrong end of strategic decisions that, intentionally or not, reduced his chances. Whether it was pit stop timing, conservative strategy choices, or delayed reactions to key race moments, a pattern has formed, one that is becoming harder to dismiss. McLaren packaged their approach under their well-known papaya rules, a philosophy built around fairness and equal opportunities for both drivers. While the idea sounds balanced on paper, the practical results have often limited Piastri more than his teammate Lando Norris, particularly on weekends where Piastri's pace placed him in a stronger competitive position. With the championship margin thinning and Verstappen capitalizing on every opening, a difficult question has started to rise. Is McLaren unintentionally giving Verstappen opportunities that shouldn't exist? And is there an unspoken preference for Norris beginning to show, even if the team insists otherwise? The full breakdown of this pattern raises important questions heading toward the title decider. In Qatar, the chain of events that triggered the lost victory was straightforward. Piastri had been the benchmark all weekend. He won the sprint, qualified on pole, and launched cleanly at the start of the Grand Prix. While Verstappen quickly passed Norris for second, Piastri kept the race under control. Everything changed when Nico Hülkenberg and Pierre Gasly collided, deploying the safety car on lap 7. With Pirelli's strict stint limitations requiring 2 mandatory stops, stopping early under safety car conditions was the clear competitive option. Verstappen boxed immediately, as did Ferrari, Mercedes, and nearly every other front-running team. McLaren stayed out with both cars. Afterwards, team principal Andrea Stella said double stacking would have cost Norris extra time, and that the team didn't expect such a unanimous reaction from the rest of the grid. But regardless of the internal justification, the external effect was crystal clear. They removed themselves from the strongest strategic plan available. When the race restarted, Piastri and Norris were the only drivers near the front still running on older tires, forced into awkwardly long first stints that cost them pace and track position. As the others ran to the optimal plan, the McLarens lost time they could never fully recover. By the time Piastri finally made his stop, the deficit was too large for him to chase Verstappen without extraordinary circumstances. Still, he drove brilliantly, cutting a 17-second deficit to under 8 by the finish. But the win was gone, and with it, a major opportunity to close the championship gap to Norris. Stella acknowledged the mistake openly. "We got it wrong. We lost the victory with Oscar, and we lost the podium with Lando." Zak Brown echoed the sentiment, calling it a huge mistake. Piastri himself had little to say, but his brief radio message, "I don't have any words," summed up the weight of the moment. Verstappen, meanwhile, didn't hide how much the strategy helped him. "That was a lovely race," he said afterward, fully aware the outcome played perfectly into his championship bid. A title that had seemed out of reach only a few weeks ago suddenly felt attainable again. Qatar's impact stretched far beyond a single lost victory. A win for Piastri would have tightened the championship significantly heading into Abu Dhabi, potentially reducing his deficit to single digits. Instead, he ended the night 16 points behind Norris and 4 behind Verstappen. Norris, who could have effectively sealed the championship with a win, finished 4th and kept the title battle alive with all 3 drivers within 16 points. Remarkably, all 3 now have 7 wins this season, turning the final race into a direct showdown. Piastri's frustration is understandable considering how often momentum has slipped away in situations not entirely within his control. Earlier in the year at Monza, McLaren reversed the pit sequence, calling Piastri in before Norris despite the Australian holding track position. When Norris later suffered a slow stop, the team asked Piastri to give the place back in the name of internal fairness. Even though the explanation was logical on paper, it meant Piastri sacrificed race position despite having stronger pace that day. In Singapore, the two drivers made contact at the start. It was Piastri who ultimately had to accept the incident as fair racing, even though it compromised his early laps. In Hungary, Piastri looked fast enough to challenge for the win, yet strategy choices positioned him behind Norris for most of the race. Again, the justification centered on keeping both strategic paths open. And at Las Vegas, the double disqualification harmed both drivers equally, but relative to Norris, the points loss cost Piastri more. When viewed individually, each of these moments can be explained, but together, they form a worrying trend, not of deliberate favoritism, but of structural indecision. McLaren insist, repeatedly, that they do not favor either driver. Stella said in Qatar, "They both have a chance to win the championship. We must respect that and let them race." Zak Brown added earlier in the season that he would rather see Verstappen win than influence the championship through internal team orders between Norris and Piastri. "We're racers. We're going racing," he said. The intention seems noble. The problem is that elite sport rarely rewards noble intentions over cold competitive clarity. Verstappen's camp, led by strategist Hannah Schmitz, have no hesitation making tough decisions. Their championship structure is built around maximizing their lead driver's outcome with ruthless consistency. McLaren, in contrast, risk damaging their own title chances by refusing to prioritize either driver, even when one clearly has the advantage on the day. Piastri and Norris are extremely close in performance, but avoiding hierarchy altogether means both face unnecessary compromises. Too often, those compromises have fallen on Piastri. Fans have added fuel to the situation with their own interpretations. During Qatar qualifying, some footage appeared to show muted celebrations on Norris's side when Piastri secured pole. Social media quickly labeled it favoritism. The reality was more normal. Piastri's crew celebrated, while Norris's crew felt the disappointment of being beaten. But in a season this tight, optics carry weight. Perception can shape narrative even without evidence. The key question now is how McLaren will respond heading into Abu Dhabi. Norris enters the finale with 408 points. Verstappen follows with 396. Piastri has 392. For Norris, a podium guarantees the championship. Verstappen becomes champion if he wins the race and Norris finishes fourth or lower. For Piastri, the path is narrow. He must win, Norris must finish sixth or worse, and Verstappen must finish behind him. Any other scenario ends Piastri's campaign. Stella has already said McLaren will not change their philosophy for the final round. They will keep both options open and avoid team orders unless a driver is mathematically out of contention. At this moment, neither is. That commitment puts the team at risk of repeating the same indecision that cost them victory in Qatar. With Verstappen likely to take an aggressive approach in the finale, symmetrical strategies or delayed decisions could hand Red Bull exactly the window they need. McLaren have already secured the Constructors' Championship with an impressive 6-race margin, but their driver's title remains fragile. For Piastri, the implications go beyond one season. He has repeatedly shown he can match Norris, sometimes even surpass him. But if the team's structure continues to expose him to greater risk during crucial race moments, the long-term competitive cost may become untenable. The system meant to maintain peace inside the garage could become the source of tension that shapes McLaren's future. The final race will challenge not only the 3 championship contenders, but McLaren's entire philosophy. Fairness is admirable, but Formula One seldom rewards teams who treat both drivers identically in a title fight. Qatar served as a warning. Abu Dhabi will reveal whether McLaren learned from it. And if they haven't, one question will remain long after the final lap. How many more opportunities can McLaren afford to hand to Max Verstappen before their internal rules cost them a championship that should never have slipped away?